On this episode of DPV, we're going to make the Big Chief a little more roadworthy. Alright, so you may have seen the first drive video on this, and it went okay. It was exciting to drive it around the block. And then I went for another drive shortly after that and did probably like a 4-mile loop or so, and the fuel pump burnt out. And some guys from American Vintage 4x4, they happened to drive by and they hooked the Chief up to their big old Dodge and towed me home. So anyway, 4 miles, that's not very far, and then to have problems. And in 2 weeks, we're planning on doing a 4-wheeling trip with Brian's TJ, which I don't know the order of these videos, how you're going to see them, but we're doing some big upgrades to that, so be sure to check out the lift and Dana 44 swap on that. And then Brian's son's got a Ram Charger on, I don't know, 33s or so. But yeah, we're going to go out in 2 weeks on Easter weekend and do a little 4-wheeling. But it's probably a 150-mile round trip just to get there and back. And if I can only make it 4 miles until I break down, definitely got to get this thing tuned up a bit. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to make this thing a little more roadworthy and try to just make it a little more dependable. So if we do break down on this wheeling trip, it's because of something fun and not something stupid. Yeah, so be sure to check out those other videos. If you like Jeeping and wrenching and that kind of stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified. Really helps me out. This 4-wheeling community is what it's all about. Alright, when my dad was here, we got quite a bit done. This was the list that I had. So yeah, got the exhaust stuff done. I'll show you the hangers and whatnot. Dad replaced the headlight for me. Got all the cotter pins in. Tidied up the fuel lines, made some new ones there. Still got to check all the fluids. That U-bolt, the threads are boogered up, so I gotta see if I can get that on there. You get a battery kill switch because, you know, the battery just keeps draining for some reason. So gotta get that figured out. But first thing I gotta do is put a new fuel pump in. Alright, so like I said, I gotta change out this fuel pump here. When I bought the Jeep, it did not have dual exhaust. I did the dual exhaust and haven't really driven it much since. In the stock configuration, it crossed over. This pipe here was turned and went kind of directly across the bottom of the transmission. You can see here where I patched where it crossed over. Anyway, so the fuel pump had never been that close to the exhaust. So with putting in a new fuel pump, I'm going to relocate it over here in the frame rail, which will give it some distance away from the exhaust, and I'll maybe put some kind of heat shield there. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Check that crap out. Alright, so I got the fuel pump all installed, and with this fuel pump, because I think it's a lower pressure than that Holly Red that was on here, I actually don't need the regulator. The regulator was too much for it, and it wouldn't even really fill the carburetor, but now it runs really good, I think. A lot better than it has in the past. And then plus I got the manifold gaskets changed between the manifold and the downpipe. So anyway, yeah, it sounds a lot better with those manifold gaskets changed. It doesn't sound so ratty and gross. Next thing we're gonna do is empty out the coolant, because I think I got the orange and the green mix and it's kind of gummy in there, so I'm going to drain all that out. I might just run water to kind of try to flush it out and then get some coolant. I'm not sure. If you have any advice on that, leave it in the comments below. And then if I've got time, I'm going to try to clean up some of this wiring because it's pretty messed up. This is just a complete mess. Got to top off the power steering fluid. Top off the oil because it pretty much leaks continually. Yeah, and then I'm going to head over to my friend Bill's place and get this thing timed. He's got the timing light. I don't have one of those yet. And then he might look it over and see if there's anything else he sees. That stuff looks real gross. Burp it. Alright, let's go head over to my buddy Bill's house and get this thing timed. Jeep's running okay. It died on me once. I'm not sure what it was. It seemed like maybe it's flooded or something. I'm not sure. You probably can't even hear me over the top. Timing's good. But probably got to tune the carburetor. I gotta learn how to do that. Probably wouldn't hurt to throw some seafoam in it too. Kind of fun to drive, but those drive-line vibes, something weird. I have to get that figured out. So I probably went 20 miles today, maybe. Brakes seem good. So I'm trying to figure out what my off-idle hesitation is. Looked at Thunderhead 289, had a good Holly carburetor tutorial, and pretty sure I'm dealing with an accelerator pump issue. So this is my accelerator pump cam, and it's discolored, but it is the orange type, which should work in this application. And it was in the top position here, which should be right for the lower RPM idle. But I'm still dealing with some hesitation, so I'm actually going to swap out the accelerator pump diaphragm because This thing was set in a while. It might be gummed up or something. I'm not sure. So I'll try that. Because, I don't know. I thought it was adjusted right. I don't know. We'll swap that out and then try to get the linkage adjusted correctly and see what happens. Alright, so here's another thing I gotta do. Swap out this drop pitman arm for a factory pitman arm, because you can see my drag link goes down at an angle from the knuckle side to the pitman arm side. So I've been trying to get this pitman arm off, and it's really stuck. My puller isn't quite the right puller, and the tie wire is not holding it on, so we're going to resort to the torch. I'm going to try to heat that thing up. Hopefully it'll expand enough that I can beat it off there. We'll see what happens. Alright, so hopefully that makes that a little more roadworthy. We'll see if I make it. These tires are still questionable. I had a little death wobble issue after I pumped them up, and no issues before. I let some air back out and it got better, but not fixed. I didn't think my steering having the drag link level, it should all be good. So I actually swapped this tire for the one that was on the passenger rear, because that front was like, you can see it, I don't think it's very round. See that awful cracking? Let's see if I even make it to the trail. So did get new fuel lines. Got the exhaust hangers in, so the exhaust is all tidied up really well. Got vent tube on the rear diff. Got drive lines all greased up. Got some of the wiring cleaned up. It's still a mess, but there was some cable sticking out here for the cruise control. We removed the cruise control module when we thought we needed the regulator. So there was a cable that went from the transfer case up to the cruise control, and then a short one that went into cab. And so now the one that went to the cruise control module actually fits on the back of the Speedo, so my Speedo works again. Probably won't be able to tell from here, but I did remove a few unnecessary wires. There's still quite a bit of cleanup to do here, but we will see how she does. The wheeling video should be out in a couple weeks, So stay tuned for that. So as always, thanks for watching, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe.